Pizza presents SCP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
We are currently 88 minutes away from HQ, where there's an $88,000,
And it's only 8 questions, so I think we should do it.
No, I don't.
Why?
That is one of our top performing clip videos.
Exactly, they loved it. Give the people what they want. Why do you hate our audience? What is this full heel turn you're doing?
I mean,
is this your revenge? Oh, they say a few nasty things on Reddit. Why do you hate our audience?
Well, I think what it is like now when someone asks me, because people do ask from time to time, like, what's the best thing you guys have ever done? What's the worst thing we've ever done? Usually I say Smart Insider Man is my favorite thing that's ever happened. And I wasn't really a part of it. I just laughed. But
no, but that helps.
Well, I mean, if that's my part, then I'll play that. But I have never been able to pin down the worst segment we've ever had. And that's it for sure. And it's not an insult. Like, I'm not trying to be insulting. It's just, it is actually legitimately the worst thing we've ever done.
Self-admitted. It was a cool idea. That was real bad in execution. Real bad.
It's amazing how you can, when you're on a phone, like on an app like HQ or Instagram or anything, you can blow through 20 minutes like it's nothing.
Oh.
And 20 minutes.
I thought it was 5 minutes. I didn't realize every time I play, I'm dedicating like 15 minutes. 15.
That's generous. It's like 25.
Well, there was a lead up. Oh, yeah, but sometimes I'm there for the lead up. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And that's the thing. It's like...
I lost on Q12 today. I was so sad. Anyway, sorry, what?
My friend won $1.67 last night. I was
Wow.
like, had to be 67. So I am not going to lie to you. I thought at this point this week, Brian Colangelo would not have a job.
He still does.
And of all the hockey things we could talk about, can we just acknowledge first that Brian Colangelo has managed to hang on somehow for the last week since all that stuff broke. How is that possible?
I have a theory on that. So, you ever see that I think it's clickhole thing? Terrible. The worst person you know has a good point.
Yes.
Well, the hockey Twitter equivalent of that happened where Steve Simmons wrote about the NHL and how it is so small time when it comes to the Stanley Cup final media. And everyone was retweeting it going, damn it, Steve Simmons has a point.
What did he say?
Well, basically before...
I don't believe it either, Jesse, just so you know.
I'm already dismissing this. Go ahead.
No, okay. So I know what LeBron and Steph Curry both think about the Trump and Philadelphia Eagles thing, and they speak before every game because it's the NBA final.
Yes.
It's a big deal.
They're promoting it.
Yeah. What do we get? People chuckling at the hot lap. That's all we get. We get the regular media. We get morning skate.
Well, we get, everyone, breaking news. The NHL is smaller than the NBA.
And doesn't...
That's why. That's part of the reason.
No. That's not a point. When the NBA when LeBron James does something, it transcends it transcends sports and goes into pop culture. When an NHL player does something, it doesn't do the same thing because it's a smaller league.
Yeah.
So Steve Simmons saying, they suck at big events. No, because they're on a smaller scale. It's just not as big. You're comparing apples and oranges.
No,
I don't know, man. I disagree with that.
No, but why not have Jonathan Marchessault come out there and, I don't know, say some stuff. Ask him some stuff. I don't know what.
Everybody does cover the Stanley Cup Finals.
But have it be this big official thing at the podium.
What Steve's talking about is there's like a press conference before the game, every game.
And like Super Bowl, with...
There's like 2 week lead up. However, I will say this. You get a hockey player in front of a group of people. They are not interesting. They got nothing to say.
Well, then that's part of the problem,
LeBron and Steph actually will stand for something. Football players will actually say something interesting. Hockey players do not.
I don't remember where I was going with this. Why did we start this conversation?
Did you know last night, by the way, that NBC criticized the Capitals after the game?
Why?
Why do you think they did?
The players?
They criticized the team. Why would they criticize the 6-2 winning Washington Capitals?
They ran up the score?
They ran up...
Who
up
said
the
this?
score. NBC. I don't know. I don't know specifically who said it.
Okay, so I can't go off on anyone because I'm just guessing. But that is the
dumbest
dumbest
thing. Who's on the NBC
thing.
panel?
I don't know. Whatever. I don't watch NBC. Do I?
You don't know who said it.
Yeah.
Where did you get this information
NBC
from?
panel.
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't see it.
I
didn't see the full clip. I saw that. I needed to see the full thing.
Yeah. Listen. What? Okay. You know what? They're right. They shouldn't have ran up the score because next game Vegas is going to come out and play their hardest game of the season. You know, they weren't going to. Even though the Stanley Cup is on the line next game, they weren't going to. But now they're bringing out all the big guns. Now it's like, all right, I'm not going to give you the 80% I was going to give you. I'm going to try 100, maybe kick it up to 110. Now Vegas is going to be a bunch of Johnny tryhards in Game 5 because, you know, the Cap scored a 6th goal on the two-man advantage.
I mean, the thing about Vegas all season long is they haven't had to try that hard because they're just so overwhelmingly talented.
So Matt Larkin tweeted today that this 3-game losing streak that they're on, because they are on one, matches the longest losing streak in Vegas Golden Knights history.
Wow.
All season long, they only lost 3 straight. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Did you see Coach's Corner last night?
No.
Okay. Well, it was just, there was one moment.
I was in a bar, the sound was off.
Okay. Well, there's one moment where it was kind of cool because they had the U.S. military's chief of staff up there. I'm not really sure what the fit was.
I did see that. But, I saw it. That's all.
At one point, Ron McLean, was talking about Justin Trudeau meeting with the Brampton, it's the Thunder, right? From the CWHL?
Yes.
And Markham Thunder.
Yeah, it used to be. Yeah, I understand.
And then they cut to Trump, and he had just turned down the Eagles to come to the White House, and they were going to bring it up, but then they didn't bring it up, so then they had to pivot. And so Ron McLean, it was like watching ice dancing. It was beautiful. He tiptoed around it, and then he talked about how Don was watching Donald Trump's rally the other day, and how it was like for Don like a Beyonce concert because he loves Donald Trump so much.
No!
It was like pivot hard, and I'm just imagining Don in his hotel room with his warm salmon and mayo sandwich with cheese, watching Donald Trump talking about how
with a mouthful of tuna. This guy's great. Oh my God!
And then they had a sergeant. They had a army representative who was honored at the White House that day there on Coach's Corner, and the entire thing was Donald Trump's corner.
Oh,
yeah. But then
bummer.
He closed it by saying Orr is better than Gretzky, and they got in some hockey talk.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go.
So chief of staff. He was chief of staff. Pretty sure he's the United States chief of staff. Yeah.
I had a very common Canadian experience that doesn't get talked about, which is watching Coach's Corner with the sound off, and you're just making commentary about like what they must be saying, and the first thing is like the first shot of Coach's Corner is always very intentional. It's designed to make you go, what is Don wearing?
What's the pin on his jacket? Because he's always got a lapel.
What's his tie? What's his crazy bright green suit or whatever?
There's a reason behind everything.
And last night's was, where did he get that hat?
Where did he get that?
Like it just said, it's in 1944, and didn't it say, was it D-Day or Normandy on it?
That might have been, you know what? That might have been it. It might have been the Normandy landings.
Where do you get a Normandy hat?
Don will find it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a place.
Where to get a recipe for a warm salmon sandwich?
Oh, God. That was not on the menu yesterday. We had wings.
Actual hockey question.
Yes.
Has Marc-Andre Fleury officially lost his shot at the Conn Smythe?
No, because he's going to have to be incredible. He's lost his shot at the Conn Smythe
if they lose,
which I think he's already lost. Like Kuznetsov has over 30 points. Mm-hmm. If you don't give it to him,
it's going to go to Ovechkin, though, isn't it?
We'll get
to that in a second.
It'll go to
maybe it should go to Kuzi. Yeah. Should definitely go to Kuzi. But no, if Vegas ends up winning the next 3 games,
it will be because of Marc-Andre.
It'll be because of Marc-Andre Fleury, and he'll absolutely win the Conn Smythe, and deservedly so. No one on Vegas has been so unbelievable that they deserve it over Fleury. Like even Marchessault or even Neil, it'll be Fleury, but any shot he had at like winning in a losing effort, it's gone. That's gone. It should already be gone though.
Jesse,
Kuzi's been too good.
Yes.
If Vegas wins, is Marc-Andre Fleury the guy you give it to?
If Vegas wins, I don't want to entertain something that's not going to happen.
Oh.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, the way they played last night, it's almost like it was an established NHL winner versus an expansion team.
And like one game Vegas won was 6-4. Mm-hmm. So if they win 3 more games like that, Like, if the finals are your worst series, I don't know. Should you?
I think the finals should be your worst series. They should be your hardest series. Don't you think?
Yeah, I understand the logic. I understand. But, like, by far. Like, he's an 8-4 something, I think. And I don't know. I feel bad because, I want to give the Caps credit. They deserve credit. But for as unlucky as they were in Game 1, that's how as bad lucky they were in Games 2, 3, and 4.
I think it was Dom Lecision that wrote, the Golden Knights died how they lived on an insane PDO bender.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Either really crazy lucky or really crazy unlucky.
They didn't just hit the post 3 times last night. They hit the inside of the post. That James Neal.
Oh my God, how did that stay out?
Alex Tuch hits the post like a minute and 8 seconds in. And then there was someone else in I think it was the late second, would have got him on the board. Like, it was unbelievable. And the Caps, a lot of their goals were kind of by the skin of their teeth, especially the first one. What a play by Oshie. Like, incredible. Kicking it up to his stick, getting the shot off. It all happens in about, 0.3 seconds. But it went in, didn't it?
Sure did.
Went in.
Well, and what seems to be hard for Vegas to do, which I look at everything obviously as a Leafs fan in terms of how the Leafs would handle this. And what's been interesting about the Caps is, as much as they're known for being a very offensive team, what they have been able to do is stop this relentless wave of Vegas in your zone, in your zone, in your zone. And I'm surprised because when I look at the Leafs, that's what the Leafs should have done this year and didn't do. That's what they couldn't handle this year when they played Vegas and another team, New Jersey.
But similarly, a lot of guys Vegas has really counted on have stunk.
Yeah.
You know who ate crow on
is that
2 of the first 4?
Is that Vegas stinking, or is that Washington shutting them down? Before we get into
I think it's individual performances.
Okay.
William Karlsson ate crow on 2 of the first 4 goals. He was brutal. There was one where I think it was the goal they showed on Hockey Night where Tom Wilson and Evgeny Kuznetsov combined to confuse Shea Theodore, and Jonathan Marchessault was pointing, but the guy left open. Like, who's William Karlsson covering? That's his guy. No, maybe that wasn't the goal. There was a goal like that where it was definitely Karlsson's guy. There were at least 2 goals like that. And Shea Theodore, man, I know a lot of people love him, and I'm very small sample size. I'm sure he's a great player. He has been bad. He's been bad in this Stanley Cup final, and it's funny. I just don't understand how they had such an easy time with the Kings. Not an easy time with the Sharks, but they beat them soundly.
Handily, yeah.
And eliminated the Jets in 5. And I look at this, like, when you're in a playoff series, you're trapped. You're trapped with those monsters. And you have no choice but to go through them. And Vegas is, like, throwing out Braden McNabb and, like, again, Shea Theodore and Derek Engeland is, like, one of their minute leaders. And these are all guys, like, yeah, sure, I'll take them on my team. But, like, they're leading the way. And they're just outclassed by the Caps. Like, what the Caps are doing is what I expected every other team they played to do. And the Jets almost did had Fleury not been like a .950 goalie. And that's why Fleury deserves the Conn Smythe
up until that point.
Heading into the series.
Washington's interesting because this is essentially, you could argue, a less good team than last year.
Yeah, I feel dumber and dumber saying that.
Right, because they gelled better. But, like, this is a team without, just 2 names, Shattenkirk and Schmidt. And Schmidt was barely playing. Yeah. Like, against the Leafs, I think it was Alzner and him were switching out.
He was barely playing.
But look at what Nate Schmidt's done this year with Vegas. And you could see it last year, actually, in that playoff series against Toronto, that he was going to be really good.
And there's another guy I haven't noticed much in this series. I wonder if he's hurt. I wonder
then
if
that could be
injuries
it.
have caught up.
Well, and Shea Theodore is 22. So if he's not hurt, which he probably is because everybody's hurt at this point, then he's also 22, and
he's
it's
up to
terrifying.
his ass and alligators, yeah.
So, I mean, it's understandable. I mean, Jake Gardiner is still a 52-point defenseman. He had a bad Game 7. It happens.
Yeah.
So the question is, do you think that they can come back? We already know Jesse's answer on this, unequivocally no.
I was going to say the Capitals' success can be appointed to splitting up Backstrom and Ovi.
You think so?
Because when you drop Backstrom to the second line, then you become the Penguins, where you split up Malkin and Crosby. And then Kuznetsov comes up, and he's this star that nobody knew about, and now he's a number one center, where Backstrom used to have that role, and now he's on the second line. You got two first-line centers, and no one's really noticing that until right now in the Stanley Cup Finals.
If I'm not mistaken, Kuzi's been there most of the season.
He's been on the second line. Or he's been on the first line most of the season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that was something they didn't break up last year.
Last year, that wasn't a thing. It was Backstrom and Ovi all last year.
And
this year,
literally for 10 years before that. It's funny. It's like the Edmonton Oilers could learn something.
Or the Leafs,
You've
or
got
a lot of teams.
Top line centers playing together. Well, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Would you call William Nylander a top line center in the NHL yet? No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Sorry, I didn't
Leon
quite understand what you
Draisaitl,
were
I
getting
think
at.
on most teams is your number 1 or 1A guy.
I haven't seen enough of him at center to even say he's that good at it.
That's right.
Dude, the guy doesn't play center. Wants to play wing.
Yeah.
How am I going to call him a good center if I never see him do it?
When is it up to him?
I still don't
just
understand that.
But let's focus on the Caps. Fair point.
That's why you maybe an off-season move the Oilers look at, even though he's a good coach. You fire McClellan, and you bring in a guy whose sole job is to be like, you're center, asshole. That's where you go. Mm-hmm. Oh, you don't like it? Guess what? I just got hired. They're not going to fire me for a long time.
I would hire Rogers, the company, and disconnect Peter Chiarelli's phone.
Wow.
Don't touch anything. I want to see
You think?
Yeah. Just leave it.
Well,
Cam Talbot comes back to normal. Oscar Klefbom plays with a normal shoulder, a fully reconstructed shoulder that has been out for 3 years. How about just leave it?
are we already getting to the Terry Jones thing, or do you want to talk a little bit more finals?
I do want to talk a little more finals.
Okay.
If there was a way
Yeah.
for Vegas to come back in this series, I want both of your answers on this. What do the last 3 games look like? Is it the Marc-Andre Fleury show, or is there some other way?
Well, it's the Marc-Andre Fleury show, but Vegas's whole thing hasn't necessarily been structure or anything. They just work harder than anyone and they skate faster. I don't know if they have enough in the tank. I don't know if they have enough in the tank after 2 months of playoff hockey to be the Vegas Golden Knights that they want to be. So if they beat the Caps, it's going to be with speed, and good luck doing that. I just don't know. Other ways, I mean, a little bit of puck luck. Holy shit. Like, dude, they've been getting the worst luck possible for 3 games. And I was amazed. So I was saying how the Vegas Golden Knights aren't quite a real NHL team because no one hates them yet. Wrong. Wrong.
Ooh, a lot of people hate them.
I saw in the comments today after my video, there was a lot of Schadenfreude going on. Like, oh, the pucks aren't going in for you? Oh, no. Oh, that's so bad.
Well,
I learned that a lot of Jets fans watch, apparently. Oh, that's so terrible for you, Vegas. A lot of Kings and Sharks fans watch. They're not fond of this hockey team. And, yeah, they were getting a lot of good fortune in the first 3 rounds.
Jesse, thoughts? If Vegas does get back in this series, or are you just not going to address it?
If Vegas gets back in the series.
What does it look like?
I can see them winning Game 5.
I can too. They have to win. I think they can win Game
Sure.
5. But I mean, like, honestly, I think the Caps are going to win. But if there is a little magic, like, let's pretend we're watching the movie about the Golden Knights.
Washington would have to go cold. Like, no one would have to be clicking at all.
And that you'd have to have
the great goal scorer, Tom Wilson, would have to slow down.
who scored again last night.
Yeah.
As soon as by the way, as soon as I turn on the effing television, Tom Wilson scores.
Dude.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and Colby would have to have a couple of bad games, and then
And he looks so
And
confident.
you're considering putting Grubauer back in.
it would have to be something crazy like that for them to lose 3 straight. I think at this point.
Imagine next week we're sitting here talking, well, they've done it. I don't know how they did it.
And to his credit, we looked at the Caps, and one thing that we said about the Caps that made us think it was their year last year. Oh my God, they're so deep. Oh my God, they're so deep. They can roll out 4 lines, and there's just murderers on every line. They need guys down their lineup to produce. Devontae Smith-Pelly.
Yeah.
Having himself a freaking series. He's having himself a playoffs. He had 7 goals all season in 70-something games. In 3 times the amount of playoff games as he's played, and he's 1 goal shy of tying himself. Hilarious.
If Vegas does come back,
Why are we playing this
just bear with me on this for the storylines.
Man, they're here.
Yeah.
They're here.
We
Anything's
gotta acknowledge
possible.
I know that as soon as Washington wins, every take is going to be,
I knew it.
I told you, they weren't good.
Actually bad. No. If Vegas does come back, is it the single greatest comeback in Stanley Cup history?
No, that belongs to the 1942 Toronto Maple Leafs, who were down 3-0 and then won. But
it's an expansion team down 3-1 to an established President's Trophy perennial amazing.
It is the least likely season in NHL history, possibly sports history. Yes, Jesse.
3 wins in a row less than 4 wins in a row?
Quick maths.
Is 6 teams?
Took me a while. That meme's old now.
Is 6 teams less than 31 teams?
Yeah. Listen.
I don't think any cup win with 6 teams counts.
Well, then,
I've had that.
Then you can't
I've mentioned that before on this show. It's ridiculous.
I mean, it is a bit silly.
It's silly. It's a rec league. I've played in rec leagues with 8 teams.
It's true. It's
come
true.
on.
Now, there was extenuating factors. I think in the 30s, a few teams folded. There was like 10.
Jesse brings up a great point.
And then
when I won the soccer league for 5-year-olds or whatever it was in the West Rouge Soccer Club, we had like 12 teams. We were world beaters back then. We were Team Red.
I don't think under reasonable, if you're thinking about the league reasonably, the Leafs shouldn't have any Stanley Cups.
I mean,
if you win with 16,
I don't like that.
If you win with 16,
in the modern era, that's why I like in the modern era.
Yes.
I agree.
They have 0 Stanley Cups.
I've said many times on the show, no stats before 1985 should count. But what about Cup, Steve? No, those are fine. No, those
Leafs
count.
still second place.
No, yeah, those are great. Second place. Screw you, Detroit.
And by the way, the Leafs include the arenas and the St. Pat's in that too, because those teams each won a cup.
They played in this city,
but and not only do they play in the city, they are technically the same franchise.
Yes. Yeah,
So
there's
just the franchise name changed.
Not allowed to have any of their records.
But they do, because they're the same franchise. They're allowed. Same business.
No, it's a different name or something.
So I want to ask this question.
It was before the amalgamation. It's a different city in
Winnipeg Jet great Danny Heatley.
Yeah. That took me a second. I'm like, oh, that's right.
And Colby Armstrong. Is Tom Wilson subtweeting me?
I want to see what he said.
Yes.
He says he was asked about all the Alex Ovechkin celebration gifts, which have been amazing. Because just the relief on Alex Ovechkin's face has just been incredible. And I wonder if his hair is going to go back to normal after this, because it seems like he's constantly touching electricity.
Who's a bigger Caps fan than Alex Ovechkin?
I don't think there is one. That's true.
They've been closing out the last 3 games.
He is their dart guy.
Yeah. I mean, basically.
Their dart guy plays for them.
I mean, for the last 5 minutes, he should just put up his feet and have some chips and just
it's funny because
stress eat on the bench.
They don't play him.
No.
Not defensively.
No.
Which is why he shouldn't win the Conn Smythe.
What do you guys think of that? Because we were talking about it on Tim and Sid, the guys in our pre-show meeting thingy, and then we're talking about how your best player, the star of your franchise, doesn't play when you guys have a lead, and it's the most crucial point of the hockey game.
Yeah,
but the reason you have
a lead
is Alexander Ovechkin.
But does that take away from him from the fact that if it's a tight game, you don't put him on the ice?
It'd be like saying,
if it's a tight game, you put him on the ice.
Jean-Sebastian,
if you're up. No. That's what Jay Beagle's
Jean-Sebastian Giguère scored 0 goals, still won the Conn Smythe.
He's a goaltender.
Right. But that's my point.
He
played his role. Ovechkin plays his role.
That's not the same argument, Adam. He's a goalie.
It's sort of close.
Adam.
I mean,
no. Bad Adam.
Come with something better.
My point is
Come with something better.
You have a role, and you play the role, and Ovechkin plays the role. Now, I think
what is
Kuznetsov should win.
Ovechkin other than the greatest goal scorer of the last 20 years? Other than that, what does he bring to the table?
Potentially.
Not much.
Potentially score just. It might be one of the greatest of all time. Definitely one of the greatest of all time.
He could score. Could be a 3-0 lead, and the Caps are playing to lock it down, and he scored all 3 goals. But why isn't he on the ice now?
See, Alexander Ovechkin is, to me, what Mike Bossy would have been had he been able to stay in the league more than 9-10 years because he got injured. And Mike Bossy was a goal scorer. That's what Mike Bossy did.
At a crazy rate.
Crazy.
At a redonkulous
Like, look
rate.
at Mike Bossy's stats versus the games he played. It was unbelievable. Guy doesn't get his due.
One of the most stunning stat lines to look at if you've never heard of him or never seen him play or anything, because it's 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 10, gone.
Yes.
Like, he was a 50 goal scorer the whole damn time, hurt himself, couldn't play anymore, done. Done.
Kind of like Bobby Orr. Bobby Orr was like, 10 years. Or no, 7 years.
Norris, Hart, Norris.
Chicago done.
Yeah.
It's
like 40 games in Chicago done.
It's crazy. So what I mean by that is that I think Mike Bossy, if you were to look at a comparable, I think Mike Bossy is one of the better comparables out there for Alexander Ovechkin.
Probably.
At least in the last 35 years. And I know that's a long way, but
a pure goal scorer.
Pure goal scorer. I don't think Mike Bossy is known for his defensive prowess in any of those 4 cups that the Islanders won at the beginning of the 80s. However, he did score like 75 goals a year. And that was Mike Bossy's role.
Okay.
So that's Ovechkin's role.
Counter argument.
All right, let's hear it.
Hockey, unlike some other sports, unlike like football, where if you have a quarterback, he's only expected to play offense. In hockey, you're expected to play offense and defense.
J.S. Jaguar, 0 goals. Just saying.
4 lines.
You're supposed to be on both sides of the ice.
Then you get 4 lines.
And
you can put Ovechkin out there. There's just better options.
But
Why
then
not
your
use
team
them?
is worse. Should we not be celebrating a player who does it all?
No!
Like,
no!
What if
That's
that
how you end up with David Clarkson contracts.
What if
I hate this attitude so
What
much.
if that guy, Ovi, that Russian, was like, I don't know, that kid.
Wait, where's he from?
I believe Russia.
Oh!
What if he was like the kid from Cole Harbor, who could play both ends of the ice at any time and is out there with a minute to go and your team up?
Who could inherently play both ends of the ice because of where he's born. Because of Cole Harbor, the milk he drank as an infant.
You didn't know
that. Gave him defensive awareness. Took his defensive awareness from a 60 overall to a 95 just from breast milk because that's his heritage. Cole Harbarians know how to play defense. Cole Harbarians. They know because of the land, sea, and air and baby milk.
They're constantly fighting off the ocean, which is always encroaching on their land.
I just learned that I'm wasted. I don't know where that came from.
Steve, you weren't aware that being born in a particular place makes you a better hockey player.
I know now.
Okay.
Who was it that Jeremy Roenick said Alex Ovechkin should take notes from on being a student of the game? Was it Sidney Crosby? It was Sidney Crosby.
Evander Kane.
Jonathan Drouin.
you might be
Sidney
right.
Crosby should watch Jonathan Drouin.
Yes! Yes, I forgot about that.
My favorite clips all time. Favorite.
Yeah.
But, so here's the thing. Ovechkin has a role. And he is the best at that role. And he has played defensively in the past. Is he the best defensive guy? No. Is he the best goal scorer? Absolutely. Would I give him the Conn Smythe? No. Because I think Kuznetsov has earned it.
Yep.
But I think Ovi will get it.
What is the playoff scoring at right now?
I know Kuzi was like second behind Malkin in terms of the best
points?
total points since like 98 or something like that in a playoffs.
And second ever behind Malkin for total points by a Russian in playoffs.
Yeah, don't go back and look at the 80s. It's not fair.
Yeah. So you got to cut it off.
Gretzky had like
record?
70 points one year.
Yeah, it's
Malkin's
insane.
is the record I'm concerned.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
Have you-
Gretzky, he had a playoffs that would be like a really good, it'd be like a top 10 regular season point total these
so
days
dumb.
in the playoffs. Like it was insane.
Have you ever gone?
How do they lose any games?
Have you tried to play NHL on one of the harder, not like rookie? I pitched a perfect game, by the way, in MLB the other day, and I sent it to Jess, and he was just like, "Stop playing on rookie."
Were you playing on rookie?
15 strikeouts.
What were you?
no
what
walks.
level were you playing on?
I was playing on beginner.
That's not
But I'm
fun.
I'm learning how to
That's
play
not
it.
fun.
I was learning how to play.
Adam's just murking people online. I'm doing so well.
I've let in a couple runs this
That's like
season.
me. Whenever I lost a game of FIFA 2001, the only FIFA game I ever owned, I was like, okay, I'm going to be Team Italy and play Qatar. And I would just full 90-minute game and just beat them 400-0 because I needed to feel better about myself.
Are you having fun when you're doing that?
Well, I'm learning, but I figured, okay, so I'm in AA right now. I was drafted by the Marlins. The Jays could have picked me, but no, with the 13th pick rather than the 12th pick going to the Jays.
You went the pick after.
I went to the freaking Marlins.
Oh, you're there, Brad Ross.
And I'm playing for the Jumbo Shrimp. Just thought I'd let you know. That's their AA affiliate. It's called the Jumbo Shrimp. What are you looking at? What's wrong?
We'll get to the playoff scoring race after. It's pretty interesting.
Oh, okay. Jumbo Shrimp is the name of the team.
Jumbo Shrimp.
And I'm killing it. But I figured when I go to AAA, I'll raise the level. And then when I go to the MLB, I'll raise the level again.
What's
right?
the
Because that's how I learned
team?
There's no single A.
They don't have single A teams in the
I
game?
don't think, no, not MLB. But you can, I think, play in college because they give you the chance to either sign with the team that drafted you or rejoin the draft the next year, and I think you can play in college, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, that's what I get.
But
You should have done that.
No.
You got drafted by the Marlins.
I know. Derek Jeter. What did you say? Derek Jeter's going to trade me for?
Oh, when you have your MVP season, Derek Jeter's going to trade you for a bag of baseballs.
Can't wait.
Because that's how it works.
Hopefully it's to the Yankees.
In Miami.
Now, Jesse, playoff scoring race. What I was going to say when I brought this up was, have you ever tried in any sort of difficult level in any NHL game to try to equal what Gretzky did in the 80s in the playoffs?
It's impossible.
I have. It's impossible in a video game.
Yeah. Jesse, start with number 5.
Number 5 on
What
the
are we looking
scoring
at
list? The points race right now for the NHL playoffs. Mm-hmm. I'm going to start with number 6.
Okay.
Number 6 is TJ Oshie with 21 points in 23 games. Number 5 is Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
Who has 21 points and is eliminated and played only 12 games. Wow. And number 4 is Jake Gensel, who has 21 points in 12 games and is sitting at home.
It's unbelievable.
How?
Unbelievable.
And then the top 3, it goes Kuznetsov, Ovechkin, and Backstrom. 31, 26, 22.
Yeah, but Kuznetsov is 1.
Yes.
Kind of went out of order.
31. Oh, yeah, I went. Yeah.
So he's got a 5-point lead on the next guy, who is Ovechkin. Mm-hmm. But he's got a 5-point lead on him.
Yeah.
I think it's Kuzi, man.
Oh, easily.
I think it should be Kuzi. Yeah. Who's playing more per game?
Minutes?
Yeah.
I don't have that. Time on ice per game, actually. Oh,
Yeah.
NHL did something. What? Ovechkin's playing 20 minutes and 46 seconds.
I'm actually pretty surprised it's that high.
Kuznetsov is playing 20 minutes and 32 seconds.
So about the same. I thought it'd be so much lower because they've been killing a lot of. They've had the lead so often. Yeah,
I realized that we just veered so far off track, and I'm glad we did because that was all worth it. But this all started with a Tom Wilson conversation we never got to.
Oh, right. Sorry.
No, well, the whole conversation is Stanley Cup Finals.
It's good. Yeah, I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad we digressed, but I
in
still wanted to ask if Tom Wilson's been subtweeting me.
It's HQ time. Yeah.
No. Tom Wilson has said he's stayed off social media, quote, since everyone wanted my head on a platter for the entire playoffs. He also said earlier in the playoffs that keyboard bluffers, I'm assuming I'm one of them. Keyboard bluffers is what he called us. Are whatever, he was calling us that. I don't know why he called us that.
So
but
you're
he's
a microphone bluffer because I don't think you said
because
much
I didn't
on
tweet
Twitter.
at Tom Wilson. And by the way, I like Tom Wilson.
Adam, don't you have a bunch of burner accounts where you just harass Tom Wilson?
Find a new slant.
Nothing wrong with your collar.
Yeah, that should have been tweeted by Adidas when everyone was like, "What is with the collar?" Of like every jersey that got released. Find a new slant.
Still my favorite tweets.
Adam, I don't think you've said anything on this show that is any more vicious than anything any run-of-the-mill Penguins fan has ever said about Tom Wilson.
I don't think anything I've said is vicious.
No.
I just called him out because I thought his comments in the last round were stupid.
He shouldn't have hit that young man in the head, I think is the meanest thing you said.
And then you shouldn't get upset when someone hits you.
Well, no, you were like, well, okay, listen, Tom Wilson, you have your reputation on account of your Tom Wilson, which is just, that's a fairly benign take. Oh. You went, hey, Tom Wilson, you're Tom Wilson. And people went, what?
Well, no.
That's nuts.
No, you
can't just say that. Fans went, what?
You criticized Tom Wilson for having an opinion.
No, I criticized no, I did not criticize that opinion. I criticized his right to have an opinion? No. Criticized his opinion, yes.
Wow.
Because I think it's a bit silly.
The nerve.
Imagine you rob a bunch of banks. And then somebody robs a bank, they all look at you, and it's not you. And you go, why is everybody looking at me?
Sure.
I don't know, because maybe you robbed a bank.
The boy who cried bank robbery. That's a great Adam comparison. We haven't had one of those.
If Tom Wilson, if you're listening, blink twice.
I think you
On
tried
What if he looked into the camera and just went, just blinked twice?
Well, everybody look at Tom Wilson's next press conference. If Tom Wilson blinks twice, he's listening to the show. Tom Wilson, I invite you on. We'll have a fight.
Wow.
Mario Kart fight.
Don't bring
don't
Brad
know.
Marchand or Gary Bettman with you.
I just don't know
Sasky
why.
Stewart. So help me.
I just don't know why you try to take down Tom Wilson as a man and you don't respect his opinion.
I think Tom Wilson's a heck of a man. Grows a better beard than I ever could. There's some testosterone there.
It is a lush beard.
Sure is. And it looks constantly wet.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like even when he's dry, it's
Does
wet.
he oil it?
Maybe. I've heard you have to do that when your beard gets long. Jesse, do you oil your beard?
I don't. I'm not lame.
I like how
All right, cool.
Adam and I both went, actual man? What do you do with your facial
Youngest
hair?
person in the room.
Yeah. No, that should mean you have the worst beard, though.
What?
A beard is something you acquire when you get older. And we neither of us can do it.
Nope.
I don't understand this voice.
You can connect. We can't do that.
So I want to run through some dates.
Well, he can. I can't do it.
I wanted to run through some dates that Cap Friendly tweeted out, and I want to thank them for this because these are some important dates we have coming up. So first off, I don't need to get into the Stanley Cup Finals games, but June 15th or 48 hours after the Stanley Cup Final is the first player buyout period and the deadline for first club elected salary arbitration.
So it's not an arbitrary date whenever the Stanley Cup Final ends.
It's June 15th or 48 hours after the Stanley Cup Final.
Oh, so it is.
Because June 13th is the Stanley Cup Finals at 8 o'clock, so it would have to be the 16th at that point.
Right, and that's if it goes to 7.
That's right.
So if it ends game 5, then it's actually
Then it's 48 hours
Friday?
after that.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
Thursday, Saturday it would be.
I don't have the actual. I just have the numbers. I don't have the days of the
are
week.
we in that stupid stretch of 2-day gaps now? There's
the next game isn't tomorrow because tomorrow's the NBA Finals and then Thursday's the NHL Finals.
Every remaining game has a 2-day gap.
Yeah, and then Sunday's the next one. Yeah. So, next game is Thursday.
When are we going to podcast next?
It's a great question, Adam.
Damn. Tentative, June 28th, June 18th through 29th, tentative upper and lower announcement date in terms of what the salary cap will be. I'm guessing $82 million.
Good to finally get a freaking answer on that. They keep saying 78 to 82. Just say about 80.
Just say 82. Because you want to do that. June 22nd and 23rd, the NHL Entry Draft. June 24th at 12:01, UFAs may speak to teams that do not hold their signing rights but cannot sign until July 1st.
I like that rule.
I do too. Thank you, NBA. June 25th, deadline for clubs to tender qualifying offers to RFAs. June 26th, the RFA contract period begins. Clubs can contact RFAs who have received qualifying offer to discuss potential offer sheets. So that's where it gets fun. So you get to talk to the UFAs for a couple days, and then you get to talk to the RFAs. Then first buyout period ends June 30th. NHL free agency, noon on July the 1st. July the 5th is the deadline for player elected salary arbitration. July 5th at 5:01, second club elected salary arbitration window. July 15th, qualifying offers for RFAs automatically expire unless extended by the club. And then, of course, August 15th, the Jimmy Vesey rule, signing rights deadline for college drafted players. So
what date is John Tavares resigning in the Island? Is that on that list?
Depending on who you ask, he is definitely re-signing in Long Island now, or definitely not. Which it's a bit of a chasm there in terms of opinion. What side was Greg Brady on? Greg Brady just went all in, just shoved all his chips, all of them. Oh, it was great. He just. They go, the Isles have fired Garth Snow and Doug Waite and brought in Lou Lamoriello as general manager. And he just went, well, that's that with Johnny T and the Island. I was like, bold. We'll see if it pays off. I don't know.
Well, it is interesting because Doug Waite and Garth Snow relieved of their responsibilities today. And there are already statues of Lou Lamoriello being made in New York as we speak. Islander fans have already said, you're our man. Thank you. What's interesting about this is that, yes, Tavares is on the plate, for sure. But Chris Lamoriello, now assistant general manager.
Yep.
Lou hasn't quite named himself GM.
No, he's GM.
He is GM, for now.
Can I read Greg Brady's tweet?
Oh, yeah, please do.
It's great. It's Greg Ballsy, more like.
First of all, he got 101 replies. And
Did he get ratioed?
Did he get ratioed?
no, because he also got 212 retweets. So it wasn't
He's okay.
quite. Yeah,
He's okay.
He's okay. It wasn't like one retweet and 100 replies.
He passes.
But
Yes.
the thing he tweeted was, "That's that for Tavares with the Isles. Have heard from far too many connected people that the only way JT was staying was a reaffirmed commitment to wait as head coach. Isles will attempt to trade his rights before July 1st. Greg Brady, TO, on Twitter.
Just right there. Guess what, everybody? Like, here, can you read the first sentence again, Jesse?
Sure. Greg Brady writes, "That's that for Tavares with the Isles."
Excuse me, I'm paying attention. Like, that got my attention. That's a great, I know it's 280 characters, but yes, I am there for that headline, that tweet headline. That's that. Done. The T in JT stands for that's that. I always say.
Instead of Toronto.
Instead of Toronto.
Instead of Johnny Toronto.
Instead of Brooklyn.
He could have been Johnny
It's not going
Toronto.
to say that anymore.
The first reply is, LOL, K bro.
Now here's the thing. Greg is not, and I would say this to Greg, it's not like he's making that bold of a statement. Most UFAs in hockey stay where they are. So if you're playing the odds on this one, the odds are he's staying.
No,
the odds
But
always
he
work.
said he's not
He's
staying.
not staying. Oh, I
He said
misread the
that's
tweet.
that.
Yeah, he said that's
That's
that.
that.
I thought he meant that they would that's
No.
That's that for
Read it
Tavares
again.
with the
We're
Isles.
done here. Today I learned Adam doesn't listen.
Adam was not listening.
Blue Liberal stuff.
That's why I was wondering. I'm like trying to yuck,
Wait.
and I'm just getting radio silence. I'm like, does he?
Is he
help
not?
me?
I missed it.
He's not,
I
he's
missed
not
it.
listening at all.
I missed it. Sorry, one more time. Just give it one more time for the guy in the back.
Jesse, are you laughing too hard? Do you need me?
Oh,
to
come
read
on,
it?
like you guys haven't missed stuff I've said before. It's the first time in how long?
Never. By the way, every single show I listen to, I'm like, why didn't I laugh at that?
There's a
thing
lot.
Adam said?
There's a lot
because I
flying
wasn't
around.
listening. I'm sorry.
Are you listening?
I'm listening now. I'm looking at you in the eyes. Sorry.
That's that. For Tavares with the Islanders.
Why?
Have heard from far too many connected people that the only way JT was staying was a reaffirmed commitment to wait as head coach. Isles will attempt to trade his rights before July 1st. I assume you didn't hear that part.
Question.
Missed that part.
How'd you miss that? What's the confusion?
Sorry, my bad.
He said he's going to trade him. Anyways.
He should have just gone.
I'm sorry, Steve. What did he say?
That's that. The tweet should have said, "That's that, Adam." Like that's that, comma Adam.
I think we have a new T-shirt.
Wait till you get a load of this, Adam. It's about John Tavares and how he's definitely not staying in Brooklyn because that's that. What's
So-
that? That's what that is.
What is at the end of?
An era in Brooklyn. John Tavares is going Masai Ujiri on Brooklyn, and he's saying, farewell to Brooklyn. I think is what he said.
I know.
Famous general manager Masai Ujiri said, farewell, Brooklyn, and then he got fined for some mysterious reason. That's that, the NBA said. Here's a fine.
Here's your scarf. Go Nets.
Here's your... Oh my goodness. Imagine you got fined every ticket you bought to go to the Islanders. What a terrible promotion. What made them think that would work? You get fined $25,000 every time you come to one of our games.
I'm sure going to an Islanders game is almost like being fined.
Basically, all the fans would hate that promotion so much they would say, that's that. We're not coming to another Brooklyn Islanders game. I don't care what colors they wear. Blue and orange? Black and gray for some reason? That's that. I'm done.
So where do you guys think Tavares is going to be come next
Certainly
season?
not Brooklyn.
Well, I'm going to
That's
say
that.
I'm going to say playing the odds probably in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'm going to say that too.
Like I mean, again, like I was saying, playing the odds.
Do you think Lou going there has changed anything? Or is it more
I
likely,
think
less
it will
likely?
change things, but I don't think. I actually think I'm weird this way, and this is bear with me on this because it is a hot take.
Hey, guess what, Adam? I'm listening.
Thanks, man. Sorry I couldn't pay you the same respect earlier. I at least I'm owning it.
That's not fun.
I think. What'd you say? I think the Isles having John Tavares move on might be good for them
Adam.
in the long term.
Why?
Well, here's what it does. If John Tavares moves on, you've got, I mean, obviously, it's not ideal.
Sorry, can you start that sentence again?
John Tavares moving on from the Islanders could be good for them.
Will
be good for them.
If John Tavares moves on, and I was going to interject, they have a really good shot at the first overall pick next year. Wait, is that actually what you were going for?
I think they've got a lot of young, good players, which they do. They got a pretty good little system. Mm-hmm. Are they John Tavares level? No. If you can't keep John Tavares in town, it means that you don't have to go out and get a goaltender because next season doesn't matter. Now you start looking at how do you move Johnny Boychuk?
And Nick Leddy. And get rid of that Casey Cizikas contract.
Yep. Maybe you don't have to make the trade for Matt Martin that everybody expects you're going to do.
Dude, they're fully doing that, by the way.
I think so, too.
Lou is so getting Matt Martin.
Yeah, for sure. Lou signed him in Toronto. Of course he wants him.
It's going to be his best move as Leafs GM. Lou's best move as Leafs GM wasn't even made while working for the Leafs. Allegedly.
But you can start to get out from under those contracts. And maybe you even, isn't Eberle's last year?
It is. He's signed through this season for $6 million. So
and so you play him with Barzal all year, pump those tires, not that Eberle really needs it, and trade him for a boatload of stuff at the trade deadline. And all of a sudden you got a young, scary-looking team.
But they could go for it this year.
I think they're
Without
scary looking
Tavares?
now.
$27 million in cap space right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're a defenseman and a goalie away.
With 4 picks in the first 2 rounds. Their first, Calgary's first, their second, Calgary's second.
Okay. Arbitrarily pick a goalie in the league. Pick a starting goalie.
Well, I think they're going to go. I would go get Philip Grubauer because he's got to go from Washington.
There's one, not a starting goalie, but like just random team in your head. Martin Jones. Islanders make the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Random Freddie Anderson.
Yes.
Mike Smith.
Yes. No.
I think so.
No.
I think so.
Not Mike Smith.
He's a significant upgrade on what they had. Mike Smith almost dragged the Flames in kicking and screaming. For some reason, it was the team that failed him. And him at the end of the season, I guess. But he was injured. They didn't have a backup goalie. Anyway, the point is, they need a goalie. They have the worst goaltending in the league.
If Montreal ever committed to a full rebuild,
Carey Price.
Carey Price. Can you imagine?
Yeah, by the way,
Totally ridiculous.
His new contract starts next year.
Yeah, that's going to be fun for them. Listen, I know that it sounds ridiculous, and I know there's going to be a lot of people that disagree. However, I do think that you move some of that money out, and then you go for it. You got a long shelf life with that team.
Now, then there's also perception. So let's say Lou Lamoriello's first move as GM
is losing John Tavares.
Yeah. Losing John Tavares. Like that.
That's a good point.
Lou Lamoriello's got a bulletproof legacy, but to Islanders fans,
but you can always say
mud forever.
But really, it's not. I mean, yeah, Lou can do what he can, but you can't pin that to him. You can pin that.
Oh, they will.
Well, no, but you can pin that to 10 years of Islander futility. I mean, that's Garth Snow's legacy.
Well, okay.
If Lou keeps him, it's Lou's legacy. If Lou loses him, it's Garth's legacy. 100%.
Yeah,
but they hired him now.
That's true, but no one's going to look at it that way.
They hired him now. Make no mistake, Lou Lamoriello's job is to re-sign John Tavares. And if he can't do that, he failed priority 1.
Yeah, his first task.
Lou. And, dude, I get where you're going. It's not his fault.
No, it's definitely not his fault.
But so what? That's what he was brought in
for.
So what? That's that. If that's that with John Tavares, what is Lou even there for? It's interesting. They re-sign him. You go out, you tinker, and you become like a potential cup contender.
Absolutely.
You lose John, you tear the whole damn thing down. It's incredible.
I'm just saying.
He's a good player.
Listen,
good player.
I'm on record as saying I think Tavares stays. I really do believe he's going to stay. Number 2, if you lose him, I think you start to look at how do we move Johnny Boychuk and Nick Leddy's contract. Maybe, obviously Josh Bailey's your number 1 center at that point, even though he played wing last year. But maybe you look at changing that out too. I don't know. He just re-signed.
This is what I'm saying, Brooksy.
But the point is, the Islanders will be fine. Give them a season. Like, really, that's what they would need.
They didn't bring in a new GM to just be like, and leave it. And don't touch it.
I get that, but that's the point. Is Lou's got two choices: sign Tavares or tinker. Take next season, tinker.
Oh,
move.
you're not saying do nothing. You're saying,
No. I'm just saying
okay.
These are his two paths to me.
Okay, I understand.
Now Lou would disagree because Lou's like, I'm smarter than you, and he is way smarter than me.
And he is.
But to me, those seemed like the two clearest.
It's an interesting spot, and what better person to give that job to than alligator blood Lou Lamoriello?
Yeah, I actually think it's pretty.
Imagine
cool.
they put some first-time GM in there. Oh, jeez.
Now
Just trying to figure it out, man.
We have to bring this up.
Have to
bring this up.
Are you moving on from the Islanders?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Have to bring this up because it is a factor. The tweet from I won't say who yet today says DJ Smith, Leafs assistant coach, to the Islanders for the head coaching job. That does come from Eklund.
DJ Smith is assistant coach of the Leafs.
Yes.
And he's saying DJ Smith is hired as the head coach of the Islanders.
Mm-hmm.
What is DJ Smith like important to the team?
DJ Smith was...
I know nothing.
He was voted the number one... He was voted the best assistant coach in the NHL this year by the NHLPA.
He won the best second place award.
Which, I don't know, I wrote about... Wow.
Dude, wow.
That is...
I don't think so.
Oshawa Generals head coach for the 2015 Memorial Cup, DJ Smith.
Is that
I'll have you know... Yeah, it is a
He
thing.
beat Connor McDavid in the
with
Memorial
Tobias
Cup.
Lindbergh and company.
DJ Smith won basically the Sixth Man of the Year award.
Hey, you take that person on your team?
You're not good enough for
He's
the
due
stuff.
for a
Wouldn't you
promotion.
take Lou Williams? Wouldn't you?
No.
No?
No.
How dare you?
But
I'm kidding. It's probably a cool award.
DJ
I just know nothing.
Now, I need to know, Adam. How done of a deal did Eklund say this was?
did not.
Did he say E4? Did he say
not.
E5?
He just, you know what?
Did he say Sim 8?
He didn't apply.
Or did he go, that's that? DJ Smith is the head coach and that's that. That is that.
No, he didn't do any of that. He just he's so confident in this that he tweeted it out and did not have an E anything. It was just
I have a follow-up question. On that.
Jesse tapped the table. Let's hear your follow-up question.
Check, please. That's when Texas told him, would you check? They check.
Except you're supposed to do it like covering your mouth. No one can see your emotions. You're wearing sunglasses, even though you're just playing a friendly game with friends like a douche.
Why can't we respect Eklund's opinion and take what he says as gospel? Tell me why this isn't a legitimate report.
I'm not denying it. And it was bold to say because no one else quite said it.
bold.
There were just theories. What I was confused with was the lack of follow-up information. DJ Smith, and then he walked out. Puff of smoke. Throws a smoke bomb on the ground. That's that. And he just walks out of the room.
Eklund, that's that.
That's that. You know how furiously Smart Insider Man is working the phones right now to get confirmation on the That's That report on DJ Smith. The DJ stands for That's That Smith. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing with Eklund
Worse than HQ.
is that in the past there have been some insane, outrageous claims. But
and also
he's had
nailing it.
He's had some scoops, right?
Yes.
So then it's possible. The thing is, I think for me, it didn't come from a Elliot Friedman, Chris Johnston, typical guy. And the other interesting
Very
thing,
elitist of you, Adam.
it is, for sure, but those are the guys that normally have it. The other thing I would say is that he got anybody got the scoop on a Lou Lamoriello hire?
Yeah.
Anybody? It's not Eklund. Forget it.
It's not anybody. Yeah.
Anybody got anything on Lou? Come on. Really?
Every bit of
think
Leafs
so.
news that was released by the Leafs, all the insiders just went, like,
This is
I
news to
thought
us.
that might happen. That makes some sense.
That is plausible.
Yes. That is in the realm of possibility, as it turns out. Yeah, this team doesn't leak.
So it's less about Eklund and more about Lou Lamoriello.
Yeah.
And hey, listen, if Eklund gets this, good on him. That's amazing.
Follow-up question, who dies? Who does Lou Lamoriello...
Mike Augello. It's Mike in Buffalo takes the fall.
It's got to be. Who does Lou Lamoriello...
Who we saw, by the way, at the Calder Cup. Hi, Mike.
Lou Lamoriello is just filling up sock after sock with bars of soap right now. Just hunting down whoever leaked that.
Now,
he's just walking around the Barclays Center, twirling it around like a nut job. Yes?
what do you take of the other report of who is going to be the Islanders head coach?
Who's that?
Our good friend. Do you know who our good friend is?
We have a few.
Adam Wilde.
Steven Simmons tweeted that this wouldn't surprise me at all.
Hit me.
Sheldon Keefe coaching the New York Islanders next season.
No. That is okay. So we got Eklund saying DJ Smith. That's like little glowy brain. And then what's like the next highest brain? It's like glowing a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Brighter. That's Sheldon Keefe. Galaxy brain. Lou drops the interim tag, hires Mark Hunter, who hires his brother Dale as the head coach of the New York Islanders. That's Galaxy brain.
And he's
right
simultaneously also still the head coach of the London Knights, although he's not still the London Knights head coach.
Nobody is, but he's not.
But he will be.
He is. And so is Mark. This is the GM coach. They're both GM coach of the Knights. And Sheldon Keefe takes over as GM of the London Knights. Why not? Galaxy brain. We're doing it. It's happening. That's that. Final. Give me something, Adam.
Marky Mark Hunter. Do you really think he's going to be the GM?
No, absolutely not.
You don't think so?
But it'd be
Twitter's
fun.
saying it. So it must be true.
Twitter does say
Twitter
that.
says Hunter and Keefe are going to be the GM
Counterpoint,
and coach.
Twitter has said stuff that is objectively wrong before.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
I'm surprised there haven't been more Dale rumors.
I actually am too. Is Dale just... Because there are some people that just don't want to do it.
I don't know if he does, because he did that 1 year in Washington. They did okay. Ovechkin didn't, but the team did. And then he left. That was it.
Maybe he just doesn't want to do it.
I think the Hunters really love the London Knights. My brain wouldn't let me say London there. I kept wanting to go Vegas. London.
That's how good of a job Vegas has done in branding.
Very good.
Hats off to their
So I don't
marketing
even
team.
know who the London Knights are.
Also, Alan Vigneault is available.
No, I mean, that's the guy I hire. Right there, that's my answer. And no offense to DJ Smith or Sheldon Keefe, because those are two guys I look at, but Alain Vigneault is success literally everywhere. And it seems like Alain Vigneault is one of those guys that he's got like a 5-year window, whatever team he goes to. After about 5 years, they are just too damn
Wears out his
successful,
welcome.
and they fire him. We're too damn good. Vancouver was like, we are too damn good. We're winning too many President's Trophies. Get the hell out of here.
What's the most fun scenario? They pilfer someone from the Leafs, and it's fun because it's the Leafs, or Alain Vigneault, who it was the coach of the Rangers last season?
I think it's the Leafs.
Yeah, the most fun scenario is Hunter becomes GM and Keefe is head coach.
Oh my God.
Because that'd
Can
be
you
hilarious.
imagine?
Twitter would blow
Vigneault's
up.
pretty funny, too. Yeah. There's a lot of funny options. I'm very excited to see what they do.
Imagine
There's
they
like
just
3 Leafs options.
they go and take all these Leaf guys there. I mean, that'd be very interesting. But you
And
have
it'll
to
be
think,
Dubas losing another one. He lost Lou, and he lost Hunter, and now he lost Sheldon Keefe, delete, DJ Smith, delete. One of the other ones, delete.
What if Mike Babcock is the next coach of the Islanders?
whoa.
That is bigger than Galaxy Brain. That's all the stars are a galaxy.
That's Big Bang brain.
Yeah, Sheldon Brain.
Lou just brings him over. You know?
Because why not? He's allowed.
He's allowed.
That would be bananas. It'd be kind of crazy. It'd be so much fun just to see all the ridiculous takes that would come from that. Like, imagine an AHL coach leaves an organization for the NHL. But because it's the Leafs, it would be, oh my God, Kyle Dubas lost not just anybody, but one of his good friends.
Kyle Dubas lost the guy who's here because of Kyle Dubas. How could he?
He's losing grip on the organization. Where are Dave Notice's critics now?
Losing LOU-sing his whatever the
I can
last
see it on
part
the
you
Toronto
said.
Sun right now.
Yeah, it's happening. And they'll say, that's that for Sheldon Keefe.
Or maybe dupe best. Dupe, as in duped. Dupe best.
I think we nailed it with losing.
Listen, I'm just trying to...
You had to go somewhere else with it.
I wanted to be a
No,
silver
Jesse,
medal to
let's
that.
order dessert, even though we're perfectly full. We're perfectly pleasantly full, but we need a piece of cheesecake right now. And then we feel disgusting and need to lie down. I have experience with this.
Are you saying Adam's joke was a disgusting piece of cheesecake?
No, it's good going down, but once it's in your stomach, you're like, what did I do that for? Worth it.
That's
That's that. No use crying over eating cheesecake, I always say. And my pappy said, "Faux me." Yes, Adam? What's wrong with me?
What is wrong
I
with
just
you?
keep screaming random things at you.
Do you want some
More
coffee?
so than usual.
Do you have coffee?
I am choking, so I wouldn't mind drinking something. We can't share a cup? We're not friends like that? No?
Oh, no, apparently not.
Is there a mic sock in this?
What is Detroit?
Old wooden ship used during the Civil War era. Also, home of Eminem.
What?
Popular rap artist.
What are the Detroit Red Wings?
Just as mediocre as they come.
In the last
Which
couple
is
days,
weird.
we've seen this. They want to keep Mike Green.
Oh, yeah.
They want to trade Andreas Athanasiou
Oh, I didn't even see
because
that
his
one.
contract negotiation is going to be as tough as it was last year.
In fairness, like, I don't know, doesn't seem like he's a huge part of that team.
And
Probably worth keeping, but
Ken Holland is now really open to trading the number 6 pick.
yeah,
And they
Yeah!
want to trade Xavier Willett because he needs a new
these
start.
real
yeah.
These are all real things.
That's crazy.
So what is Detroit? And what happened to the genius of Ken Holland? The guy that everybody was like, this man is untouchable. He's unbelievable. He is the next GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs because we have to have everybody else's good thing. Thank God for Shanny. But what happened here? And what are they? And what are they going to be?
Lesson to every GM or prospective GM out there: go get you a really good European scout. You won't have to worry about a job for the rest of your life.
You want to play a fun game?
Yes.
That is mean what you just brought up.
How many players on the Detroit Red Wings signed for next season, so not including RFAs, not including UFAs, obviously, are below the age of 28? So
Say that one more time?
One more time.
How many teams currently signed to the Red Wings
Players.
roster?
How many players? Yeah.
I said teams. How many players currently signed to the Red Wings roster are of the age 27 or lower? So below the age of 28.
Well, it's got to be Dylan Larkin.
Yep. Unless he's.
I'm not including RFAs or UFAs. They are
So I
not
can't
signed
see
for
just-
I don't
next
know if
season.
Dylan Larkin's up next year, I think.
I don't know.
Dylan Larkin?
How many guys?
Trade.
I think.
Who even plays defense for them anymore?
Well, Danny DeKeyser,
And
who I think might be under 27.
Ghost of Nicholas Cronwall.
He's old now. He's like 36.
37.
7. Okay.
That's why he is the ghost of Nicholas Cronwall.
I'm going to say 2.
How many?
2. Arbitrarily. just 2.
I want to say 2, but since you've already said it, 3.
There's one guy. Xavier Ouellet.
Who do they want to trade?
Yeah.
Because he wants a fresh start.
He is the only player on their roster. Oh, no, they got 2. Nick Jensen is 20.
Nick Jensen they also want to trade.
He's 27,
Oh, really?
to be
Apparently
fair.
they want, yeah.
So Nick Jensen's 27, so you were technically correct. Xavier Ouellet. How do you pronounce that?
Technically.
Xavier Willett.
Ouellet.
Yes.
Ouellet is 24. Other than that, everyone is 28 or older, which is crazy. Dylan Larkin is an RFA. SNSU is RFA. Tyler Bertuzzi, RFA.
Luckily, they got the sun and the
Mantha,
moon
RFA.
for Thomas Tatar.
I think that's going to be a trade that Vegas regrets, watching him play last night. I mean, it's a little early, but I don't think he's the Tatar that we're used to.
Well, they have.
I don't know
no
why they made
choice.
that deal.
He wasn't a great mid-season acquisition, but you have no choice but to salvage that now and make him a good player for you.
Whatever Ottawa wanted for Karlsson, they should have just given it to them.
What was it?
I would like to know.
That's a good point, Adam.
Should have just given it to them.
I think it's a good point because I've been defending the Tatar trade for so long, saying, but they have the picks. Who cares? Dude, whatever Ottawa's asking for, you have the picks.
Give it to them. Just give it to them. He's Erik Karlsson. Give it to them.
That's fascinating.
If you give up the picks for Karlsson, you know the first is the 31st pick. Mm-hmm. You're winning the cup. You got Erik Karlsson.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a rough one. That is a rough one. Now,
I still think they get him. I think that he ends up there. I just figure I just don't know where or how. Maybe Tatar ends up in Ottawa.
Ooh, no way. Tatar is not part of the Erik Karlsson trade. You stop that right now, Adam Wild. You think? Ooh.
Well, like Ottawa's got to ice a team.
Yeah, they got Marian Gaborik,
who will never play again.
No,
who will go to Phoenix as a Phoenix Star.
That is the biggest nothing trade in the history of the league, I think. That's the biggest nothing trade in the history of the league. Like two big names. I think there were picks involved.
Dion Phaneuf and Marian Gaborik, yeah.
And who remembers it?
10 years previous, that would have been a big freaking deal.
Oh my God, 5 years ago, that's a blockbuster.
Yeah.
We're talking about it for months.
You know how many people are like, they're going to go to school?
The trade is 1 for 1. The trade is 1 for 1.
Yeah, they're going to go to school next year and they're going to get busy with school. And, I got to really buckle down. And I'm making some new friends and I got to study for this exam. And they're going to come home around Christmas time and they're going to just be randomly flicking through games and they're going to see a Kings game. And they're going to see Dion Phaneuf with the puck and they're going to go, what?
Right.
When did that happen? Like, you know how many, actual, hardcore hockey fans are going to be like, I don't recall. What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. When did... You know how many people still think he's a Leaf?
Yeah. Well, what's weird about Ottawa acquiring Marian Gaborik is he still had 3 years left on his deal anyway, and it's a lot of money.
The exact reason.
It's a lot of money. It's one of those stupid Dean Lombardi deals.
$4.875 until 2021.
It's a long time.
But what is the
years.
actual money owed?
That's the cap hit. The actual money is 4.5, 3.1, then 3.
Okay.
So they could LTIR him, but I don't think that's going to go over well in Eugene land. And
you can afford that.
Well, no. And the thing is that
shouldn't be a sentence that you say. Eugene can afford that? No, he can't.
$10 million over the next 3 years.
He cannot afford that.
Name another amount of money. He can't afford that either. It's
$8.
No,
a Mars bar.
Can't afford that.
42
if we get dinner with Eugene Melnyk, he's going to the bathroom and not returning.
That's so rude.
Wow.
Dude, they're in a rough way.
He'd split it 4 ways. Come on.
4 ways. Wow, you think?
I think so.
He wouldn't go, this one's on Huge. Oh, that's me. No,
Meej.
Oh. Do you think he just makes awful jokes like,
no, I don't.
That meal was huge.
No, I don't think so.
He does that.
I don't
if
think
you
so.
were Eugene Melnyk, maybe. But I don't think you...
Does he seem like a barrel of laughs?
He's talking about the achievements of his family. Well, you know what they say, we got good genes. Sorry.
And then every time he leaves somewhere, he yells, Melnyk out.
It's a hashtag. So my grandkids tell me.
You're absolutely. He should wear the shirt. You know, in South Park, when all the parents got Pokemon to get their kids to stop playing it?
Yeah.
Eugene should get a Brian 5 or 6 shirt. He should get a Melnyk out shirt. He should, next Periscope Brian 5 or 6 does, Melnyk should watch it. Because he goes through and he looks at who watches. A bunch of the Sens players watch him.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, there's actually other players from other teams watch too.
Oh yeah, like Mika Zibanejad watched, Erik Karlsson watched, most notably.
Heard his new podcast? It's really good.
No, I haven't yet.
I have shouted to him. Great show.
Bobby goddamn Orr! I love him.
Yeah. Where were we?
I don't know. What is in this?
Oh, Detroit. What is
You were already
you already like this, man.
Yeah.
You're born like this.
Whoop-ah!
No, Detroit.
Just punchy.
Detroit. What is
You
Detroit?
spent too much time inside today.
I did.
Yes.
Mrs. Dangle was saying that, and she was right.
Yeah.
She was not
You
wrong.
got outside for the first time and you went crazy.
Like, yeah, I was
Well,
just
'cause
crazy.
You
I
were,
was a crazy
you were in a
puppy.
bad mood when you showed up because you said you spent too much of the day reading Twitter.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he was inside and now he's not inside.
No,
He's
I'm
not.
You're with your buds.
yeah. Yo, just a few buds, having some ones, just having
Once.
hot ones.
With your dogs?
No. Oh, are you referring to, like, are you guys my dogs? No, I'm talking about now.
No, we're his buds. Well, we're also your dogs, but your dogs are not your buds.
No, they're my buds.
Okay.
But you guys are my buds.
This is a
and
bad
also my dogs.
conversation. All right.
And that's that. That's that.
What's next, Adam?
What is Detroit? Answer me that.
We did that.
No, but what is it?
They're terrible.
What are they? Other than terrible, what are
They're
they?
old.
Mediocre.
They have
Screwed.
too many contracts.
Are they this year's Canucks?
They're worse.
They are worse because they've got nothing in the pipeline. Do
Yeah.
They're this year's Canucks if they talk more.
they? Ah.
Hey, I know we're mediocre, but here's how we're not going to be that, and
One
but
thing-
still be that anyway.
one thing
without
they-
Brock Besser.
One thing they do have is draft picks.
Yes.
They have 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, 3 third-round picks.
Ooh.
And next year, they have 1 first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, and 2 third-round picks. So, if they want to actually rebuild, they can just sell the farm, draft all these guys, and they might be good in like 3 years.
Yeah, we are ripping on them, but like the Thomas Tatar trade was absolutely the right
Sick
thing
trade.
to do.
Great
thing
draw.
to do. Yep, smart.
They need a goalie. They need a couple of lines and a couple of defensemen.
And actually, yeah, they dumped Mrazek.
Yeah. And
That
Jimmy
was-
Howard's probably not starting goaltender anymore.
I don't know. I'd be interested to see if he somehow gets it back because he has shown flashes, but
Couple more stories before we get to the press conference. Craig Custance wrote an article today about potential trade targets starting next season.
for who?
Everybody.
Just in general.
Just
Okay.
people that might get traded. You know, names that are floating around out there. One of them was Julius Honka, which I just want to say, shout out Julius Honka.
Yeah. Craig is an online writer. He knows what he's doing. He writes about that for the paper. He talks about that on TV. No one cares. Julius Honka is how you generate clicks on Twitter.
It's crazy but true.
You sure this is coffee?
God, I missed mid-July last year.
Do you? No. By miss it, do you mean it was awful?
Yep.
They should shut down hockey Twitter from July to
That's
September.
what,
Gone
that's what
fishing. Just
third period Suits does. He just shuts it off for 3 months.
I'm very tempted to do that in
Well,
Scotland.
you should do it in Scotland. Yeah.
Why would you consider being on Twitter while you're on vacation?
Because what else would he do?
Here's
They're
me.
talking Scottish, and he's like on Twitter.
Where's Julius Honka going?
I don't understand what they're saying.
You and your Scottish talk.
Oh
No,
yeah,
but also
with the
mentioned
haggis.
also mentioned in
they
this
don't even like
is
haggis.
Jeff Skinner, Justin Falk, and I believe Lindholm as well on the Carolina Hurricanes, potentially. And what's interesting about this is Tom Dundon, he's one of the owners I actually know, and he's the newest owner in the NHL. And the reason I know him is because he keeps talking. And because he keeps talking through his people as well. Now, he's made a lot of changes. That's his right to do that. But one thing, apparently, and this is reported across the board, that he wants is movement.
Movement.
Part of the reason Craig Custance says that Ron Francis was moved out is because Ron Francis wanted to stand firm. And if there's ever a team this year, like last year in Winnipeg, stand firm, get a goalie. They got their goalie, happened to be the guy they already had.
Yeah.
But they got it, and they were good. Is there another team that needs to do less other than get a goalie?
The Jets, it's funny. When you put it in that perspective, the Jets made one of the worst signings of the offseason. Got better.
And they're way better.
Yep.
And I feel
Hurricanes?
the same. I think the Hurricanes are literally a goalie away from being a very scary team.
They're give Scott Darling a second away from being okay. No, they got to supplement it. I think he's a 1A. You don't even think he's a 1A?
I don't think he's a 1A.
I think he's a potential 1A. I think he's I think he's better than he played.
I think he's a bad trade.
He's better than he played. Scott Darling, you can get a 9-10 out of Scott
Sure.
Darling.
Sure.
Which is still below average, but you can, come on.
I think they're a goalie away. A true Philip Grubauer is the guy I'd be calling about.
Man, I today, because I was cooped up inside like a lunatic, watched all of Matthews' goals from this season.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy.
Why do you spend your time doing that?
This is a great question, Jesse.
And what did
Prison life for me, there'd be no transition.
What did you deduce?
There was one particular goal against Scott Darling where I was like...
There's like 32 goals, by the way. You
Yeah.
remember this.
What did you learn?
There was one goal on Scott Darling where I was like, I love my boy Matthews, but that was shit. He was not good. Matthews ate the Hurricanes and Islanders alive. He also scored on some pretty
How
damn
long
good
was
goalies.
the edit?
It was like 27 minutes.
20. I was gonna be like,
So these were not like 5-6
I was
minutes?
setting it up to be like, oh, and watching 8 minutes of a video is not bad. That's a good way to spend your
I
time.
don't remember how long it was.
So they
You
included
watched-
the play
you
by
watched
hand.
YouTube it.
You watched an episode. You watched longer than a sitcom episode because those are cut down to what 20,
22.
22
I could have spent my time. You could
have watched an episode of Seinfeld.
Yep. What's the deal with Scott Darling? And I didn't watch that.
You could have watched half an episode of Game of Thrones.
That's a horrible sell. All that long time is still half. Half. That is not that. There's more. But it's too long of a show.
But it's good, so it's good.
But it's too long.
Okay, well,
So, what did you learn that Scott Darling's not good?
that he ate them
Literally, the
alive.
point I was trying to make is Scott Darling allowed a bad goal once.
Okay. Anyways, yeah,
There it
Carolina. I don't think they're. in that
I
much
just
in
think
trouble.
that Tom Dundon is going to force his management team. I could be wrong. I think there's a really good chance this offseason they could screw this up.
Well, and let's say he doesn't. The perception, like you're not wrong for thinking about that, because the perception of Tom Dundon was created by Tom Dundon by saying far too much.
And I respect
I'm saying that he's saying too much.
I
That's too
respect
much.
what he's done. I do. I respect the fact that he's come in and he's tried to put some energy into the organization. I don't understand how you go around trying to offer NHL GMs a third of what they're normally paid.
Yeah, but like there's good energy and there's bad energy. Like you give a 5-year-old Mountain Dew and Pop Rocks and they'll add some energy to your house. It won't be welcome. I'm tearing shit apart. Trying to
But
ride
he's
the
a
dog.
smart businessman. Hockey's different. It's a little different. There is the business of hockey, which you can win and still suck. Look at the Leafs. But and you know what? Let's be honest. Of all the things that really matter in Carolina, the business of businessing is really the most important and pressing thing right now. They need a business there, a viable business.
Win.
And winning.
Consistently.
So here's what I don't understand. Carolina's got all these great young defensive prospects. Why do they then have to trade them?
Why not just have them?
Why not just have Noah Hannafin or Justin Falk? Why not have Jeff Skinner and Elias Lindholm? You know what's great about those guys? You have them.
Yeah. Like with the Leafs, they could trade this guy, that guy, that guy. Like all these prospects are burning a hole in the Leafs' pocket. Or be the deepest team up front.
Counterpoint. Have 8 great defensemen.
Yeah, exactly. That's not a counterpoint. That's the same point but different. Yeah, no, I got you.
Like what I don't understand what the need to what are their needs? What are their true needs besides a goalie? Look at their lineup. They can score goals, they can defend, and they're young.
Aho
and they're
started
expensive
slow.
or
That was
inexpensive.
it. Yeah.
And Aho started slow. And
Started
he's
slow.
amazing.
And for some reason, they've been like dying to trade Jeff Skinner for like half a decade.
Why?
I don't know.
And they stole Teuvo Teravainen. Stole him.
That was a great trade. Yeah, that's another team they just are dying to screw themselves up. They can't wait. So excited to make
I
a
hope
mistake.
they screw themselves up on the Leafs' favor. Like I really do.
Do it.
But man,
That's
I just
a
don't
team-
understand why they need to make any trades. Like go get a goalie.
Duba should be on the phone.
Well, Don Waddell's not stupid though.
No, but
He was the Atlanta Thrashers GM for a while.
Well, I think you should give it a shot.
Matt Martin, Noah Hannafin. Let's do it.
That is interesting. Like, it's not like I'd love to know who Dubas is like close with, because like he's been working the phone since 2014.
Yeah.
So it's
I mean,
not like-
he put together the Phil Kessel trade with Rutherford, who's among the oldest executives.
We
out there.
have pictures of him on the phone, so we know he knows how to use one. Who has he been speaking to?
Or is he too much of an analytics nerd to even call them? Does he just text these GMs?
Oh, he DMs the GMs.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that.
He's going to announce a trade by accidentally tweeting a DM.
Steve,
Yes.
whose rookie cards do you have?
Ooh, I have an Ovechkin.
Uh-huh.
I have a Stamkos.
Are any of them special edition?
No, I think I had a special edition, like it was 1 of 100 Young Guns of Paul Stastny, and I sold it for, it was like $50.
It's not bad.
I sold it for, yeah, it was pretty good.
What other rookies do you have, do you think?
I used to have Phil Kessel. I traded that for a Felix Potvin game used stick card when he was with the Canucks. That was a terrible trade. I used to have a Kadri, but that got stolen. That's in the book.
How did you get... Really? Okay.
I have another Kadri because I had two.
I won't ask you to tell me that story.
I had a Subban that got stolen in the same thing. I don't have a Matthews. I wish I had a Matthews. I might go out and get some boxes of last year's stuff so I can get some of the Leafs guys. Why?
I am asking because did you see the story about the rookie card that is the most expensive rookie card in the modern era for NHL cards? Did you see the story?
I'm excited to hear. No.
So just for some background, any cards since 1986 are basically worthless.
Yeah.
Because
this is the story you found when you thought you had nothing for today's show.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I used it on Kiss today. That's how you know it's a good crossover story.
Wow. Okay.
Now, after 1986, they basically flooded the market with hockey cards, right?
Yeah, like everyone has 15 Sundin and Yager and Scott
Rookies.
Niedermayer rookie cards.
They're not worth anything.
No.
So
Lindros.
modern era cards don't sell for very much, except for a 1 of 99 autograph rookie patches from Beckett with Connor McDavid.
Wow. So patch.
Sorry, it's Upper Deck. My bad, Upper Deck.
Patch, I mean, that should be self-explanatory. It's got part of one of the patches on the jersey. Now, is it the logo?
Doesn't say.
Is it the crest?
Does not say.
Okay.
99 autograph rookie patches. Connor McDavid rookie card, 99 ever produced.
And he signed them.
And he signed them.
So there's only 99 of these in the world.
Are they real autographs or stamped?
Does not say.
They're real.
Gonna go with real
They're
for that
real.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
For that one, I would say real.
Okay.
Dude, it probably says on the back of the card, like, this is certified authentic by Upper Deck. Yeah.
It is the highest price ever paid for a modern hockey card.
Okay.
How much do you think it sold for? Remember, hockey's the small sport, so keep your guesses in check here.
Are we going above $1 million or below $1 million?
Oh my God,
Below
$1 million. Like you'll be like, let's not compare these to baseball cards or anything. Like I think
Okay.
baseball cards are the real high sellers.
I'm going to say
Yeah.
12,000
U.S. or Canadian?
Canadian.
Canadian. Okay.
$12,000 Canadian.
So that's like 10,000 American.
$100,000 Canadian.
Now you're just being goofy because you're being goofy.
No, tell me the correct answer. Tell me it's 100,000.
You said Canadian?
100,000 Canadian.
Oh, close. 55,000 U.S.
Oh my God.
Which is what I think 67, 68
Sure.
American, something like
70?
that. Or sorry, 68 Canadian. So somebody paid $55,655 plus shipping and handling for a Connor McDavid autograph patch rookie card, 99 ever made.
I don't feel bad for that person. That person's rich. Like, you don't make that purchase if you're not rich. No one's been like ruffling through their couch cushions. I need $55,000 for this McDavid card.
No, they're probably okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Cardboard, ink, felt.
So I saw
fabric.
this card
That's all.
when about 12 years ago when I was crazy into cards, but had no money to buy them. I was
You had no money because you were into cards.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that and a student. It was both. It was a never-ending cycle. I saw it was a dual. I want to say it was a dual patch, dual autograph. Crosby Ovechkin rookie card.
Shut up. That exists?
Yeah, and I saw it was $10,000. Now I don't know how many of them there were. Maybe there were more than 100.
Doubtful.
I find that hard to believe.
I'm sure they just do 99.
This was $55,000. Now, McDavid's just regular Upper Deck Young Guns rookie card goes for like $400. So
Interesting. Well, I wonder with this one. I think this guy's, the true card collectors will make a bet. And I think this guy or girl making a bet. I think they're looking future on this one because I don't think
they're investing.
You're not unless you're from Edmonton and you've got goofy oil money. You're not putting that in your wallet and going, I paid $55,000 for this. Not exactly, something that you show off. I don't think.
Oh, that's something you show off.
Is it?
You don't have that to put it in
I
a
think
vault.
It's an investment. I feel like they do put that in a vault.
No. Well, okay, so what's interesting, I saw this thing today. This is one of the many Twitter things today that made me depressed. Was a potential upcoming recession. Like
which they've been talking about for years.
Yeah, but one of the first things to go is shit you don't need.
Classic cars and cards.
Yeah. So Crosby Ovechkin created this like renaissance of card collecting for the NHL, and that was 05-06. And everything was so expensive. Like any jersey card, it could be a bum. It could be like your team's fourth liner, but if it had an authentic piece of jersey in it, it was $5. So you couldn't go to the card show and get anything like that, game used, whatever, for less than $5. And then I went in 2008. I got all these things. I got all these things from collecting from Crosby and Ovechkin's rookie year, and I'm like, I'm going to go to the card show and make a bunch of money. Buy a textbook with it. Nope. Because all those things that were previously $5 each, they're like, I might give you $1. And like they didn't even want to do it.
Mm-hmm. I remember I watched.
This is a special card, so it's a little different.
I watched the. I don't know. You've probably never seen this because I don't know if you're into classic cars at all. But the Barrett Jackson auto auctions are very interesting. They actually televise these things because these cars come in and they're rare cars. They are the creme de la creme. They are the most beautiful cars in the world. They're a lot of them are. If they are modified, they're done in such a way that it is like a true piece of art, one of a kind. Classy. And so some of these cars will roll up, and the starting bid's $200,000. So they go up.
I'm surprised it's only that.
Shelby Cobra can go up over $1 million.
Yeah. I've heard of that.
You've heard of that. Great looking car. But when those auctions happened during the 2008, 2009, 2010.
And we'll start the bid at 80 cents.
Literally. You had these beautiful cars, nobody buying them. So if that recession did happen, it will take a chunk out of whatever this guy bought. But I'm sure he's banking on,
that
the second.
And like your livelihood.
When
but
Connor
first,
McDavid
hockey cards
gets into the Hall of Fame, then I'll sell this.
I got 2 Ovechkin Young Guns just by chance, and I sold one of them because I was broke. I had no money, and I was like, okay, well, I do have these 2 things, so I know a way I can make money. And I sold one of my Ovechkin Young Guns during his sophomore season, where he had fewer points than his rookie season, and I got $45 for it. Wah, wah, wah. That was dumb. Actually, next week might be a good time to sell my other Ovechkin Young Guns. If he wins the cup, it'll be a hot seller.
I might argue that all those purchases were dumb. But
hey,
and that's
how that. It was dumb because I didn't manage to get the Crosby Young Guns, which again is like $400, $500, $600.
Can you imagine not getting the Crosby Young Guns, Jesse? What would you do with you?
I don't know. I guess I would be Steve.
So they have Upper
That's
Deck
a hard life.
Series 1 and 2 that year, so they released 2 different series of cards. Mm-hmm. The Ovechkin one, the Series 2, is, I think it's still like you can get a box, like a full hobby box for $40, $50, $60. But the Series 1 are so expensive because you have the chance of getting a Crosby card, and they're impossible to find. I can't find them. I want a box. And even then, I still wouldn't be guaranteed a Crosby Young Guns. But I want one. Oh, I want one bad.
Well, I know what Mrs. Dangle, the next withdrawal that comes out of the account.
Not getting me ever. There's no way. There's just no way. Our anniversary is in July. Give me a Upper Deck Series 1 hobby box. It's not happening. And if it does happen, I'm going to be like, ooh, Mike Richards.
Jesse,
I used to have a Mike Richards Young Guns.
Jesse, let's do the press conference.
No. Let Steve keep talking about this super interesting.
That was interesting to some people.
I think we need to say that to this show and get into the press conference.
That is not that.
I think it's that.
I had a list of a doctor talking about things that that he found up people's butts, but I can't.
Why?
Why do you have this list? That's interesting.
How did you learn on that?
It was an article.
We've heard from people when you were on the show with me. We've talked to nurses that like had stories about that, where people would like that happens all the time. Apparently, people would go into the ER with stuff up their butt.
Cops and paramedics have just
whack
great.
stories.
Well, paramedics, their stories are more lighthearted and fun.
Yeah.
Paramedics all have great stories.
Jesse.
Since I can't find that, I guess I'll go to actual questions.
No, what? We can't do that?
Our Reddit page.
Well, we can't.
No, I can't find it.
What'd you bring it up for?
Because I was looking for it, and then I couldn't find
I
it.
thought you said you had
I'm
it.
looking for a Crosby Young Guns, and everyone gave me shit for it.
Wow.
We're both looking for something.
This is the second most upvoted question on our Reddit page this week. Who, if any of the Leafs, are getting moved at the draft? If one is being moved, what would you want back for them?
Matt Martin. Anything. No, he's getting moved. Pretty sure.
Cap relief.
Cap relief, yeah. What is getting moved? Money.
I'm not a fan of moving Nikita Zaitsev yet, so not him.
Depends on the offer.
I think it's the moves they don't make. I'm great with them just standing pat, hopefully moving Matt Martin because I think it's time for him to go, and just drafting and bringing people on because I really don't think they're. I know they probably do want to make a splash, but I just don't see how they can make one without one of the big three going, and I don't like that.
No, I don't think they're going to make a big one. I was going to say, I wonder if they could find a buyer for like JVR's rights and maybe get like a mid-round pick or something like that. But hasn't the newish rule where you can talk to UFAs, what is it, June 24th?
That's kind of killed that.
It's kind of killed it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get like a 24-hour window with JVR and you're going to give up a fourth
like when
for
the
it?
Leafs traded Cujo's rights to Calgary. Like, you can't. Yeah, it just doesn't mean anything anymore. And interesting too, there are no sign-in trades, which there should be.
No.
You'd think that they would do that,
Well,
like they do it in the NBA.
There are things they can do, like, for example, they gave up a conditional draft pick in Greg McKegg for the rights to one Zachary Hyman, noted children's author. And the Leafs were able to get him, and now he's an important part of the team. I think there's another opportunity for that in this draft. I think his name is Adam Mashurin. He's a former second-round pick. No, sorry, Mike Brophy would yell at me for that. He's a second-round pick of the Florida Panthers, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to sign him.
So what happens then?
I wonder if they're going to look into trading his rights.
Interesting.
Or I can't remember. I might have that wrong because he might be going back into this draft. I can't remember, but that sucks for the Panthers. They drafted a guy in the second round. They're not going to be able to lock him down.
Kind of like playing for the Marlins.
Whoa.
Just saying.
The Leafs are not a bad team. Mm-hmm. They got to make little additions on the back end, I think.
I think they got to find out what they are again. Like, they're losing some big pieces. Obviously, you take your swing at JVR, but unless that right shot defenseman comes along at a price that you cannot ignore, I don't see the big trade that everybody's talking about. I just don't see it.
It's funny you say that because I think losing those guys defines who they are. Like, there's not going to be this one random slow line that they have. It's just going to be speed.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, don't trade one of those guys. I want to see Connor Brown not having to haul ass down the wing back into his own zone because JVR and Bozak are not covering again.
Everybody talks is a big believer in him. I don't see him getting moved.
I think there's no reason not to. His numbers were bad last year and his advanced numbers were not good, but the reason is who he was playing with.
Yeah. There's a reason he played on all four lines at one point.
Useful. Hungry Hippos line. I still like that line. It's not my most ideal line to have Matthews with Hyman and Brown, but it's an option. Mm-hmm. It's an option. Jesse, do you have an answer to that?
Who's going to trade?
Potentially Sparks. Maybe they move Sparks.
You know what? I can see that. That I can see. Yeah. If I'm Carolina, low cost move, easy.
It's interesting. The Leafs didn't seem to have much patience for him. I wonder if Dubas has more. I don't know.
He should.
There's a logjam at goaltender, so something has to give. Mm-hmm. Do you guys know what the number one thing on the internet was today?
Kate Spade passing away.
No.
Okay.
Donald Trump
is
screwing
bigger
up the
than that.
words to, what is it, God Bless America?
No.
Not the Philadelphia Eagles.
No.
Wasn't LeBron and Steph Curry agreeing with each other?
Man, all the time I spent on the internet and I don't know this.
Yeah.
You, of all people. You've
The
done some
number
research.
one thing on the internet was 2 YouTubers who broke up today.
Oh,
No
and I don't even know their
way.
names because, like, I'm not.
YouTube.
David and Liza,
Wow.
they broke up today.
Did they do a video about it, how they're still
So
friends?
they did a video together today.
Okay.
Oh,
6
that's
minute-
so awkward.
6 minute long video. They wore each other's merch in the video. And it became the number one trending thing on YouTube. And it was released today, and it has 10.8 million views as of my
I
reading
am
this.
nothing! Nothing! That video has more than half the views I've ever gotten! And it was uploaded this morning?
Today, sometime. I don't know
can we
what
just-
time of the day.
They wore
But-
each other's merch.
Oh, it was
That's
the
my
cutest.
favorite line.
I am
Does Jesse have a batting cave?
It was is
Jesse's
it
got a
gone?
batting
Yeah,
cave?
it's gone.
Okay.
Sorry, I was trying to be subtle about it. Every time I try to be subtle, you guys go, drawing attention.
Are
Sorry.
we a subtle show? No.
No.
Anyway, so David and Liza, they broke up today. So they had to make their video, and they've been broken up for a little while now, but they kept making videos because they weren't emotionally ready to tell the world yet. And then now that they announced it, it has broken the internet, their breakup.
Do we play some of it?
I think we have to play some of it.
Okay, I have to get headphones then because I don't have anything for us to listen to.
Oh, so she's.
Hang on, I'm going to have to run and go get headphones.
I know her from Vine.
We're back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.